Hello, my friends, Evolutionary Energy Arts family.
Oh, it's a great day today.
So, guys, this has been the year of I can't breathe, has it not?
It really has.
When we think about all the things going on, and you look at the subliminals, you look at the things that are hitting our psyche, perhaps we're not even really truly consciously aware of them, but they're impacting us.
Well, I don't know. I don't know if this has anything to do with anything, but look at the fires and the smoke. It's hard to breathe. Look at the water. Things like this is suppressing the breath.
Truly, it is, and there's so much going on. And then, of course, there's so much angst and tension in society and between the nations as well. And of course, so many people are very, very familiar with the George Floyd situation and, the fact that that was what he had said, I can't breathe. But, it's not just George Floyd. As Cindy was saying, here we see a tweet out of Good Morning America with record wildfires raging through the West. Public safety experts said it's critical for residents to protect their lungs from poor air quality. Yeah, our friend Mark in Kansas, he's seeing a lot of smoke regularly in Kansas. When we were in California and Nevada, it was brutal. And then, as we've moved along all throughout the western states, you get patches where it's good and other patches where it's just horrible. And people are inhaling so many different things.
Yeah.
Who knows what you're inhaling? When you think about the chemicals that are in tires, for instance, and how toxic they can be going into your lungs. And of course, so many other things that are being used in the construction of these houses and buildings, which are all going up in flames. We see wealthy home buyers are spending big on air filtration systems, while wildfire smoke continues to contribute to acute illness in low-income areas. And again, the poor always tend to suffer more just because they don't have the resources. They can't go out there and spend $1,000 on a in-home air filtration system, or maybe much more than that even. And so it's really impacting the people that are struggling. And of course, with the lockdown on, economically, most are struggling. Of course, we looked at the stats yesterday, and the upper 1% is doing better than ever.
Yeah.
All these things are helping to just make that divide between the haves and the have-nots to the greatest level we've ever seen.
Yeah, so we need to change the way we do things so that we are not one of the have-nots.
And you look at these horrible fires that are going on, 130 mile an hour updrafts and smoke plume, downdrafts reaching 65 miles an hour. And, it's not just in the American West. This is in Brazil. So, and there was bad wildfires in other areas as well, Spain and France and in many other areas. So it's not just isolated to the United States, as we see here. Everybody's pointing blame. Brazil's leader seeks to blame others for the fires. Everybody's pointing the blame, and they focus on the blame instead of focusing on, solutions. And that's something we really got to try to look more towards. It's always the first thing out of the politicians' mouths, or the radical left, or the religious right, or whatever you have. It's always the one side pointing fingers, while when we look at the bills that get passed and the money that gets spent, it doesn't seem like anything changes there. Money goes to certain industries and, not to things it needs to go to. So obviously the whole system, we need a new system, because this system is just absolutely broken. And then we have the whole plague upon the land thing, which is thought of as a respiratory disease, but it's also causing problems in the heart. And, here you see a doctor that was 28, and, she succumbed allegedly to this, virus. And again, you have to say allegedly because you never get a straight answer. And that's not just NASA, never a straight answer. It's other things as well. When we see the top health authorities in the entire world all of a sudden coming out and saying, well, we made a misstatement. Yeah. And that happens all the time now. So can we trust them? Hell no. We can't trust anybody in power. That's the bottom line. It's unfortunate, but we see the corruption everywhere. And so we can't believe the stats. We can't, believe everything that the mainstream's telling us, and we can't believe everything the fringe is telling us either. As, some of the fringe have proved to be pretty crazy at times. But we do know there's things going on. As we see this tweet about a 21-year-old guy coming in with chest pains, had a heart attack at 21. And so they're again blaming it on the plague upon the land. Is it? Is it not? Regardless, we have to basically do what we can for ourselves and our family and our loved ones. And this is Dr. Philip Lee. And he's kind of bridging the gap here with some of the things he's saying, and I'll let you guys read them. Now he does recommend the covering on the face as well, but that definitely I've noticed. When I'm wearing it, I just don't know how people could work 8 hours. I mean, you're definitely decreasing your oxygen intake, and when you get down to it, breathing. And this says breathing a life force, because what we're doing when we're breathing is we're taking in the life force, that which animates us, not just the oxygen, nitrogen. We are taking in prana, ki, chi, vril. And so this is the bigger picture. When we're not able to breathe properly, we're decreasing the amount of life force that we're bringing into our bodies. We could live a long time without food. A long time. There's been yogis on record that haven't eaten under supervision and even haven't drank anything under supervision for very long periods of time. Of course, water, typically they will say, 3-4 days without water, and you're getting into a trouble area, your kidneys may shut down. Although I do have friends that dry fast for a week at a time. Now, that's not supposed to be really possible, but they do it. And there are people that have been documented as not eating for years, and most people would think that's impossible too. But there's many cases of it. And when you get down to it, what are we taking in? We're taking in life force, ultimately. But see, the thing is, we can't go without breathing long at all. Food, water, sure, they're necessities for the vast majority of people and living things on the planet. You gotta have food and water, but without air, you're dead in minutes. Mm-hmm. So breathing is critical. And when we're breathing, we're taking in the life force. And the life force also is what boosts our immune system. In QiGong, and QiGong just basically means energy work. It's all about increasing your Wei Qi at first, and your Wei Qi is your external Qi field, which you could think of as having your shields up. As we've talked about the Earth having the magnetosphere down right now, its shields are down, so it's getting an influx of more energies that are making it through to the surface and to the interior of the Earth, which is helping to cause the Earth changes, and into each and everything that's on the Earth. Every single creature on the Earth right now is being bombarded with more cosmic energies out there than typical, because the magnetosphere is in decline. Well, if we can't breathe properly, then that's going to do the same thing with us, but it's going to also lead to a lessened autoimmune response. And that's part of what's going on right now, because it is all about ki, chi, prana, and vril, which is all the life force. And I've shared with you guys that I've had Lyme's disease, and the thing that really helped me, besides changing my diet and basically following a QiGong program, is really what did it for me. Meditation and QiGong is what got me better, along with some herbal supplements as well.
Oh yeah, and diet, we can't stress enough your diet, how important that is.
And this is Wim Hof, who has done things that scientists would say are absolutely impossible. He's been monitored. They've had him all hooked up with wires, measuring all his body responses. He's been submerged in water that would kill people in just minutes, and he's stayed there for hours on end, actually increasing his body temperature all through his breathing method. It's all about the breath, and it does feel in these times that it's all about taking our breath away. Yes. So we must learn how to alleviate that and how to increase our ability to draw in the prana and the life force. So, he has a particular breathing method. I'll have these links for you guys to check out. I've talked about him many times. So diaphragmatic breathing is really crucial for getting us to relax. Relax for one thing and take in more air. Like if I tell you, take a deep breath right now, most of you out there, your chest is going to go and rise. Yep, you're going to straighten up, you're going to rise in the chest, and that's exactly wrong. As far as, trying to decrease the stress and tension and the secretion of cortisol in your body, what we need to do is to breathe with the diaphragm. So what you do is, you inhale in, the diaphragm moves down. And I've worked on so many people that have had stuck diaphragms. They're just not used to breathing properly. When you look at a baby, its belly is rising and falling. See, the baby is breathing properly. As adults, we get stiff and we tend to decrease the amount of oxygen that we're taking in our regular everyday breath, unless we practice things such as yoga, QiGong, Tai Chi, and certain meditations. That can lead to great changes in our whole system. So you basically have an on-off switch. You're either in the sympathetic, which is the fight or flight side of the nervous system, or you're in the parasympathetic, which is the rest and digest. You're in one or the other. It's just on, off, on, off. So when you're in the rest and digest, you're producing serotonin and melatonin. Serotonin and melatonin are key. Melatonin for your sleep, amongst other things. Serotonin basically is a feel-good chemical, and so that will help you stay positive, as well as the production of these things also will increase your abilities with your third eye, with your pineal gland. Now, the fight or flight is necessary. You've heard of people do amazing things, lifting cars off of kids, things like that, when they have to and they're really pressed to the limit in desperation and, for peak physical activity. But it has its consequences because it produces cortisol. And so it does give us a boost in energy. It gives us a boost in focus in a certain way. But it also will wear out the body more. It'll wear you out. It's like burning the candle at both ends. So Tai Chi, Qigong, meditation, yoga, these things can help us to build our immune system, get us into the rest and digest. That's when we actually heal. So we need to heal. And we need to allow our bodies to heal and our minds to heal as well, and cultivate the spiritual aspects. So I would encourage everybody to check out this playlist. And so this is healing through energy work, Qigong, meditation, and Reiki. And here is a 20-minute-ish video on a short Qigong program that will open up the 12 primary meridians, which are the 12 primary energy centers. You could think of them as the vascular network for the energy body, which will help purge stagnant energies. It will send even energy to the organ systems, and it'll get rid of negative energies. And then the large one, the full class, is a little bit over an hour, and that will help to circulate the life force as well as really build the energy. And there's other meditations in here as well, and I've had so many people tell me that doing these things have changed their lives incredibly for the better.
Oh, absolutely. It makes you more aware. It helps you focus. It just changes the way you think about things. And, ultimately, you just come out wanting to do better for yourself, take better care of yourself. And ultimately, that's what we all need to do right now.
So I just wanted to share that with you guys. And I know everybody's in a different area of the country with different situations, or around the globe, as we have so many people in Australia, New Zealand as well, UK, you name it. We have family members there. I want to thank you for your support on Patreon and Ko-Fi. Anybody that wants to make a appointment with Cindy and I, just reach out at evolutionaryenergyarts@gmail.com or EEARTS@protonmail.com, and we'll schedule a time. As always, God bless and namaste.
Namaste.